Business Brain, episode 70. What are we doing?
704.
704. I had myself in the wrong spot. I'm like, I don't think that's right.
That's okay. I didn't know how to spell the show.
That's fair. Yeah. All right, we'll try this again. Business Brain, episode 704 for Wednesday, November 26th, National Cake Day 2025. Woohoo! I love cake.
Oh, God, I love cake, too. I'm not a pie guy. Cake for me.
I love Samuel German's cake. Samuel German made German chocolate cake. And welcome to Business Brain. He was from like South Carolina. We are the show.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not from Germany. We are the show where we take a few ideas, we crunch them, we dissect them, we use them to tune our business brains so that we can each ensure we're living that charmed life just a little bit better, leveling up each and every day. Speaking of leveling up, our sponsors, masterclass.com/businessbrain. You get up to 50% off sometimes here in the holiday season, so you got to go check that link out. And shopify.com/businessbrain, where you can sign up for your $1 per month trial period. That's going to help you level up like crazy. We'll talk about those more in a little bit. For now, here in Durham, New Hampshire, I'm Dave Hamilton.
You know, and I'm Shannon Jean in Northern California. I love both these sponsors because they're super useful. Like MasterClass is, everybody should subscribe because it's such a game changer. And Shopify will change your life as an entrepreneur.
Yep.
But I also love that they come back. They keep coming back and sponsoring the show, which I love. It's a good indicator that our people
performing.
like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrific. I'm happy to be here. The other thing I love about this show is that I use it to kind of reinforce a lot of this stuff in my own head. So, I just grab these topics like, what are we talking about today? I was just eating lunch down at my house, and I was like, I got 50, what are we doing? And then I look through my list of things that notes that I've taken and, things that I've recorded. It's like, let's talk about this because I think this is a good idea. But let's see what Dave thinks, and let's see what our users think. And
listeners.
Yeah, it's cool. Listeners, users.
Fine. Audience.
Yeah. Audience. There we go.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Yes. So I'm glad to be here, and I have an idea I'd like to run by you.
Run it.
Run it. And I'm calling it Permissionless UTM.
Okay. We're not talking about some kind of like infection or anything here.
I don't think so. No.
All right, great.
But a UTM is called an urchin tracking module. That's what the acronym stands for.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Google bought a company called Urchin that had created this system to track it. It was an analytics company. They bought them in 2005. And I only know this because ChatGPT told me. And so everybody uses this UTM now.
I thought it was a user tracking metric.
So did I. It's exactly what I thought, because that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And maybe it's, I don't think ChatGPT's lying, but no, there it is. Yeah, urchin
No.
tracking.
Wikipedia also agrees it's an urchin tracking module parameter.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So it is. So I didn't know a lot about it, but I'm working with this company, and I'm using UTMs to track how my, people that are in my mastermind or people that follow me, how they, we're routing people to these certain resources so we can check it. So the UTM allows your analytics, we use Google Analytics or Adobe or whoever, they track that based on, so if you've ever seen a link that has a question mark behind it, so if businessbrain.show, davehamilton.com, shannonjean.com, or davethenerd.com. If there's
either one, they go to the same place. But thank you.
Perfect. Yep. If there's a little question mark, and then it'll say UTM, and sometimes it'll say UTM _ source or UTM _ campaign. Okay. Right. Equal, and then it has some set of words. Sometimes it's very long. Sometimes it's not. Yeah, this is a great.
UTM source equals Google. UTM,
Google, whatever.
Well,
guess what? I'm a big fan of getting my name connected with companies that I do things with. I always tell people selling is not enough. Like I'm a huge proponent of selling on marketplaces like eBay, Whatnot, Poshmark, but I always tell, hey, selling is not enough. You need to go reach out to those people that run that company and introduce yourself.
You've
LinkedIn,
made that clear.
Whatever. We've talked about
we do it here all the time.
Yeah,
every time we mention anybody on the show,
you send an email. Yes,
correct.
Yes. So I started thinking, I have companies that I send a lot of traffic to. Why can't I just use my own UTM? And it will show up in their analytics, and they'll ask themselves, who is this Shannon Jean guy?
Oh. They'll think it's a woman, but that's a different story.
That's okay.
Yeah, I know it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That's a good, it makes it for a good talking point.
Exactly.
So now, like one of the companies, I send people to, like thousands of people to auction companies like GovDeals and all these different sites that use, and they track their analytics. So now when I post any link to these sites, I add $UTM _ campaign equals Shannon Jean. And I don't know if anything will happen, but it's free. It only takes a second. I've made a text expander UTM little thing for each of these websites. And the question I have now, my ChatGPT says, yes, you will show up in their analytics because it's just another campaign.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring it up today to see, do you think that's true? And get your thoughts on this idea.
I think it is true that you will show up in their analytics. I mean, that's how that works. I'm getting a little hung up on
I can sense some hesitation.
Well, no hesitation.
Okay.
I think it's a brilliant idea. Where I'm hung up is campaign the right
or source
parameter, or is it source? Because there's 5 that you can use: source, medium, campaign, term, and content.
So probably source, right?
Well, there's an argument for either or.
Okay.
Why not both, Shannon? If we can't decide which one is right,
both?
Yeah, absolutely. You would do so. The way UTM campaigns, or the way HTML parameters work, or HTML is the wrong word. The way link parameters work.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that you get the link. So let's say it's businessbrain.show/review, right? Which is where you're going to go. I'm gonna build this link while we're talking here. So I'm going to businessbrain.show/review, and then that's the link. So what you do is you put a question mark at the end of the link to say, okay, the link is over. Now I'm going to add some parameters.
Okay.
So the UTM source would be the first one. So that's UTM _ source equals, BB. I'm going to put BB 704 since this is Business Brain 704. Okay.
Okay.
And then for all other parameters, any additional parameters are separated by an ampersand. So it would be UTM campaign equals BB 704, right? So you'd get this thing that is businessbrain.show/review UTM _ source BBM 704 UTM campaign and ampersand UTM campaign. So I'm trying to think if there's an easy way for me to show this on the screen, but I'm not sure that there actually is. But that would be that's So.
That's awesome.
Actually, yeah, I can. You know what? I can put it in a little banner. Well, no, I can just build a little banner here. So it would be this businessbrain.show/review UTM _ source equals BBM 704.
So I can do both. Okay,
and UTM campaign equals BB 704. So you put Shannon.
I'm
going to put
and UTM campaign equal call me, or there's my phone number, or there's my email. Can I put a?
Oh, you can put a URL. You can put shannonjean.com. Maybe try it.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to try it because I'd like to send them to a page that says, hey.
My recommendation would be to make both fields the same, because some people looking at their analytics are going to look at the source. Some are going to look at the campaign. Some might look at both, but I would just put shannonjean.com in for both of those, because if people visit shannonjean.com, they can get your contact info. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. I'm excited. Yeah. I will never use another normal URL again.
Yeah, that's really smart.
Because you're sending, it just depends. Like if you can use it for any context. Like if you have a supplier that you're listing on your website or something like that, and you want to be able to go and say, hey, I'm sending people the whole time. Look at your analytics. And, here's my prediction. I'm going to start using this today. Yep. And sometime in the future, I don't know, I'm not going to put a limit on it,
Yeah.
But sometime in the future, I'm going to come back and do this show, and I'm going to say, hey, Dave, you remember in episode 704 when I came up with this crazy UTM, permissionless UTM thing? Just today, I got a call from this company that saw me in their analytics, and they want to do XYZ with me. And
I guarantee you it'll work. Yeah. What I'm thinking of is the thought running in my head is does a WordPress plugin exist to automatically tack this onto any URLs I put in there that don't already have one? Because sometimes they come with one, like if it's a sponsor thing, I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't already have one, just tack it on when you publish the article. And away you go. And then that way when people come to the website, click on the show notes, they get this. Because why wouldn't we put businessbrain.show in for that?
Of course. And if that plugin doesn't exist?
Well, listen on Friday if that plugin doesn't exist, because I have an answer for you.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's super cool. Yeah, so I'm excited about this. If you're familiar with UTMs or SEO or anything that I'm missing here, reach out. Feedback@businessbrain.show. We want to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a thing about an evolution of my persistent pest concept here that I want to talk about. The next thing that we want to do is tell you about our sponsors. And you ever notice how online shopping has gotten dangerously easy? I'm convinced that half of my late night purchases happen because of that magical purple shop pay button. I swear that thing has saved me from getting out of bed more times than meditation apps have saved my sanity. And here's the kicker. Every time you see that purple button, that's Shopify doing its thing behind the scenes. And the truth is, Shopify doesn't just make buying easy, it makes building and running a business easier than anything you've ever tried. I use it myself for merch for one of my other podcasts. And if Business Brain ever launches merch, you better believe Shopify is going to be the platform that we go to. That purple shop pay button is basically the charmed life button for entrepreneurs. Did you know Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the United States? That's wild. And it supports everyone from massive brands like Mattel and Gymshark all the way down to folks like us, who are taking that leap on building their business ideas. You don't need to be a designer. Shopify gives you hundreds of beautiful templates that make your storefront look pro from day one. You can manage everything in one place: inventory, payments, analytics, and spread the word with built-in email and marketing tools. Plus, customers already trust that purple shop pay button, and that's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. You get the lift instantly. It's time to turn your big business idea into ka-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/businessbrain. Go to shopify.com/businessbrain. One more time, shopify.com/businessbrain. And our thanks to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. And if you're trying to build your charmed life, one of the smartest moves you can make is investing in your brain. And lately, I've been doing that by diving into the MasterClass platform. It's like a little daily ritual. Instead of doom scrolling, I jump into a few short lessons, and suddenly I'm learning from people operating at the highest levels on the planet. For example, Mark Cuban's class in Think Like a Boss collection, right? This guy sees opportunity the way rest of us see air and food. You can walk away from that session thinking, yep, I need to rethink how I'm approaching half of my business decisions. And that's a good thing, right? Always learning. I've also been exploring lessons from the athlete's mindset, because if high-performing founders and elite athletes share anything, it is resilience, bullheaded persistence. And then there's the deal maker's mindset with Chris Voss. That one can probably come with a warning label. If I start negotiating for extra guac at restaurants, well, you'll know why. What I love about MasterClass is that it fits into your life without stealing your time. Thousands of bite-sized lessons, all available on your phone, your laptop, or your TV, wherever you really want. Do you like watching at night? Great. You want to watch in the morning? Great. Or you can listen in audio-only mode while making tea. It all counts and it all compounds. And here's the data that impresses me. 3 out of 4 MasterClass members say they feel inspired every time they watch. 83% have applied something that they have learned. Those numbers track, folks, because I'm already doing the same thing. And look, MasterClass always has great offers during the holidays, sometimes up to as much as 50% off. So head over to masterclass.com/businessbrain for the current offer. That's up to 50% off at masterclass.com/businessbrain. Go check it out. See what's there. Masterclass.com/businessbrain. And our thanks to Masterclass for sponsoring this episode. So, Shannon, I've mentioned this concept of the friendly persistent pest recently.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And
I've been called worse.
Yeah. Well, right. Same. And it's not something new to us or to me, but it is something that we're like freshly identifying here and
Yes.
codifying in ways, which is great. And it's working phenomenally well. The real trick is that we're finding is to be not just the persistent pests, but the persistent pest that's asking, how can we help?
Nice.
Generally, it's how can we
adding
help?
value. Yeah.
Yes, it's how can we help make it easier to do business with us. But like that's okay. Like we want to help make their jobs easier, and so we're explicitly asking for this.
And if you didn't see that episode, I don't know what number it is. Dave was sharing how, and I believe I have the right context. You were at an event and you would ask people, "Hey, how do we help you guys more? What can we do for you?" And they were like, "Well, you need to reach out to us more. You need to right and that kind of thing," which I think is great.
Which is great. Yep. And so we've really tweaked that. Initially, when people told us that, we didn't quite understand what they were asking because they weren't articulating it. But they really want us to be pesty, just in a friendly way. Which
like
helps them do their job. Whatever is top of mind is what people are going to work with. Now, what I've noticed though is that we don't always have to be pesty like this. I think there's phases to this, because what being a persistent, friendly, helpful pest does is it gets you top of mind, and then people start working with you, and then a habit sets in. And once that habit sets in, you don't have to be as much of a pest as you were initially.
That's a good point.
You can remain present, but it's you don't need to be quite as pesty because they already know, oh, they're here, they want to help us. Like that is now truth to them because they've probably preached it to someone else saying, oh, hey, work with those folks at Business Brain. They're great. They're going to be right on top of it for you. And once they tell somebody else that, now it's very difficult to get them to shift their mindset because they've now committed to this.
Good. Yeah,
right?
That's really good. Great persuasion. Yeah.
What's that?
It's great persuasion.
It's persuasion, right? Yeah. But
but they're doing it themselves.
They're doing it themselves, right?
Yeah.
It's the natural byproduct of delivering on being that persistent pest, that helpful person. As long as you can deliver on it, and whatever your actual product is, whatever the thing is they are buying or getting from you, as long as that is of high quality, then all the rest of this just sort of falls into place. And you can get away with, I'm not saying you necessarily should, but you can get away with backing off on that pestiness, either the degree of it or the frequency of it, or sometimes both. But to develop those relationships and to set those habits, you have to be that pest. And if you wind up losing someone, and what often happens, and this is where the risk comes in, is, whoever your point of contact is at any given company might change. That person might move to another company. They might move to a different job. And if you're not staying on them frequently enough, they might not pass you off to the next person. And so you can rest on you can do the work and rest on your laurels a little bit, but you've always got to make sure you're in touch with these folks, because you want to make sure that if there is a new person, that they sing your praises to that new point of contact, because that's part of the key. There's a whole we've been through this important. The whole changing point of contact thing. There's more that has to be done there, because you want to give that person the opportunity to nicely say to their boss, the last person didn't know what they were doing and I'm doing it better. So you don't want to offer to have them do the same thing. You want to give them something new, but that's a whole different mindset.
You want to have that. You want to have a successful handoff, right? Where they're like, oh, one of the people you really need to be sure you talk to is Dave. And then also, to your point of the new person wanting to be better.
Yes.
And that kind of, you can maybe you seed that with
you have an opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. Your contact to say, hey, we're rolling out a bunch of new stuff. Be sure to let the new rep know that, they want to check in with us to be sure we can share what's going on.
That's fair.
So maybe that natural inclination to do something new better.
Yeah.
You can, because then they could go and say, hey, I talked to Dave and now we're going to do it this way, that way, and the other, even though it was your idea, right?
Doesn't matter.
So
it's better when it's sold by somebody else. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I'm gonna start using that. When that doesn't happen, or if that doesn't land, what I have found is saying something like, we've been doing this same thing for so long. I have another idea if you'd like to consider it, right?
I like that.
To let them know that you're there. Oh, really? I think I've got something better here. We never really went to it because we were just on autopilot. Not saying anything negative about it, but letting them decide. Because I've lost deals just because someone new came in and wanted to change things for no good reason.
Yeah, or they bring their contacts with them.
Fair.
Super common. From my side, if it's a supplier, all of a sudden they're bringing their clients in and pushing me out.
Yes.
So you have to work hard for that. And it's something that definitely, I think the persistent pest, I love that term pesty because it's a little less pest-like. Yep. But that concept, is really powerful on many ways, and on, not because when you're explaining it as you're a vendor trying to keep your client, I'm thinking of it as, oh, I'm a customer and I want to keep that connection, or I'm a seller on a platform. We talked about this before the show. I'm selling on eBay, so I want to be sure I reach out to their community outreach team all the time. So they hear me, know who I am, and you can be a resource so they can help promote your account, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a great concept. I love it. Yeah,
it can work in so many different ways. And now that it's something I've just sort of always done at times. Now that we're codifying it internally, I'm more aware of when I see it coming in, other people that are doing it with me. And there's people that do it well and people that don't. And in fact, one of our vendors said to us, I love how you are persistent. They didn't use the term persistently pesty, but that's basically what they said. And they said, what's interesting is I love the way you do it. There's other people that drive me crazy. And I stopped him and I said, I don't need to know who those people are. It doesn't that doesn't matter. Sure. But if you figure out what it is about what they do that upsets you, tell me so that I will never do that.
Yeah.
And he stopped for a second and he was like, yeah, let me think. He's like, well, you know what? Let me think about this another time. He's like, because I want to get you an answer, but I want to get back to the business we were doing. I was like, yeah. I didn't mean for you to do it now, but that's fine.
And don't misinterpret. It's not just selling all the time. It's
relationships.
It's you're working on the relationship, and some of it you can automate and systematize, of course. But you just want to have your name top of mind
mind. That's it. Yeah. In a good way.
Yeah. In a good way. Yep. Absolutely. That's great. Awesome. Great tip.
It's good stuff. Yeah. And when that habit gets set, that's when that's what you're going for, really, is that habitual stuff.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Feedback at businessbrain.show if you want to tell us anything. And also businessbrain.show/review is where we want you to go, please. And leave us a review, and that'll enter you into the drawing for a MacBook, which we're going to be doing real soon now. Thanks, folks. We'll see you next week. Well, actually, no. We'll see you Friday.
See you Friday. Don't miss it.
That's right. Keep living that charmed life.